In the heart of a village where traditions were woven into the very fabric of life, a young man named Ao found his world in the eyes of Sade. She was a vision of grace, with a smile that could coax the sun from behind the clouds. Their love story was the village's favorite melody, a tune everyone hummed with joy. Ao, a skilled carver with hands that could breathe life into wood, knew he wanted to spend all his days with her. The day he decided to ask for her hand in marriage felt like the most important day of his life. He gathered his family, his heart a drum beating with a mix of excitement and nerves. They prepared the traditional gifts: kola nuts, palm wine, and yams, and made their way to Sade's family compound. The air was thick with anticipation. Sade's father, a respected elder named Chief Adebayo, welcomed them with a formal, yet warm, demeanor. The initial pleasantries were exchanged, laughter filled the air, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. Then came the matter of the bride price. Ao's uncle, speaking on his behalf, presented their humble offer, a token of respect and a symbol of their commitment to cherish Sade. But Chief Adebayo's expression hardened. He looked at Ao, then at his own daughter, and a shadow of pride crossed his face. He declared a bride price so high it silenced the entire room. He listed demands that went far beyond tradition: rare beads from a distant land, a herd of prized cattle that would take years to acquire, and a sum of money that made Ao's heart sink. It wasn't a request, it was a wall built of pride. Ao's family was stunned. His father, a man of quiet dignity, tried to reason with the chief, explaining that their intentions were pure and their love for Sade was immeasurable, but their resources were not. Chief Adebayo was unmoved. "My daughter is a jewel," he proclaimed, "and only a man who can prove his worth is fit to have her." The words stung Ao like a swarm of angry bees. He saw the pain in Sade's eyes, her silent plea for her father to relent, but her voice was lost in the storm of her father's pride. The meeting ended in a cold, tense silence. Ao's family left with heavy hearts, the taste of palm wine now bitter in their mouths. Anger began to poison the well of goodwill between the two families. Whispers turned into arguments. Ao's relatives felt insulted, their honor questioned. They accused Chief Adebayo of using his daughter as a commodity, of forgetting that marriage was a union of souls, not an auction. On the other side, Sade's family rallied behind their chief. They saw Ao's family's inability to meet the price as a sign of disrespect, a failure to recognize Sade's value. The village, which once celebrated the couple's love, was now divided. Friends became distant, and marketplace greetings were replaced with averted gazes. Ao and Sade were caught in the crossfire. They would meet in secret by the old baobab tree at the edge of the village, their sacred spot. The joy that once defined their meetings was gone, replaced by a deep, aching sadness. Tears streamed down Sade's face as she told Ao about the pressure she was under, the constant lectures from her mother about family honor. Ao's hands, once steady and sure as he carved, now trembled with frustration. He felt powerless, his love for Sade a flickering candle in a hurricane. "Is our love not enough?" he would ask, his voice cracking. "Why must it be measured in cattle and beads?" The wedding, once a source of joyful anticipation, was indefinitely postponed. The vibrant colors of their dream faded into shades of gray. The beautiful fabric Sade had been weaving for her wedding dress lay untouched in a corner, gathering dust and sorrow. The love that had been their strength was now the source of their deepest pain, stretched to its breaking point by the stubborn pride of their families. Weeks turned into months. The rift between the families grew wider and deeper. The entire village felt the chill. The harvest festival, usually a time of unity and celebration, was a subdued affair. People stayed within their family groups, the air thick with unspoken resentment. The music lacked its usual spirit, and the dances were half-hearted. It was then that the village elders decided to intervene. They were the keepers of wisdom, the guardians of the community's soul. Led by the oldest and most respected of them all, Baba Su, they saw that this conflict was not just about two families, it was a sickness that threatened to infect the entire village. They understood that a tradition meant to honor and unite was being twisted into a weapon of division. Baba Isu summoned the heads of both families to a meeting under the ancient Iroko tree, a place where judgments were made and truths were spoken. Eo and Sade were also asked to be present, their faces etched with a weary hope. Baba Isu let the silence settle before he spoke, his voice low but carrying the weight of generations. "I look around," he began, "and I see the families I have known my whole life. I see neighbors who have shared meals, celebrated births, and mourned losses together. But today, I see a chasm between you, built with stones of pride." He turned to Chief Adebayo. "Adebayo, you say your daughter is a jewel. You are right. But a jewel is meant to be cherished, not locked away in a vault of impossible demands. Have you forgotten the purpose of bride price? It is a symbol of gratitude, a gesture that joins two families, not a price tag on a daughter's head." Then, he faced Ao's father. "And to you, my friend," he said gently. "I see the hurt and anger in your eyes. Your pride has been wounded. But responding to pride with more pride only builds the wall higher. Has anger helped you? Has it brought our children any closer to happiness?" His gaze then fell upon Ao and Sade. "Look at these children," he said, his voice softening. "We are so busy defending our honor that we have forgotten theirs. We are so focused on the price that we have forgotten the value of their love. Is this the legacy we want to leave? A village where tradition tears us apart instead of binding us together." The other elders echoed his sentiments, sharing stories from the past, reminding everyone of times when the community had overcome challenges through unity and compromise. They spoke of the ancestors, who believed that the strength of the village lay in the strength of its families, and the strength of its families lay in love. The words of the elders washed over the gathering like a gentle rain on parched earth. Chief Adebayo looked at his daughter, truly looked at her, and saw not a symbol of his status, but a young woman whose spirit was being crushed. He saw the tears in her eyes, the same tears he had ignored for months. Shame and regret began to melt the ice around his heart. Ao's father looked at his son, whose shoulders were slumped in despair, and realized that in defending his family's honor, he had risked his son's future happiness. Finally, Chief Adebayo stood up. His voice, when he spoke, was heavy with remorse. "Baba Isu, you have spoken the truth. My pride has blinded me." He walked over to Ao and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Ao, your love for my daughter is the only price that truly matters. I ask for your forgiveness." A wave of relief washed over the clearing. Ao's father stood and embraced Chief Adebayo, a gesture that spoke volumes. The tension that had held the village captive for so long finally broke. A new bride price was agreed upon, one that was symbolic, reasonable, and offered with mutual respect. The joy returned, brighter and more precious than before. The wedding preparations resumed with renewed vigor, now a true community effort. The women from both families laughed and sang together as they cooked. And the men worked side by side to prepare the celebration grounds. The wedding day was a spectacle of color, music, and unrestrained joy. Ao and Sade, standing together, radiated a happiness that touched everyone. As they danced, the entire village danced with them, no longer as separate families, but as one united community. They had learned a profound lesson, that culture and tradition should be a bridge that connects hearts, not a wall that divides them. And that true wealth is not found in cattle or beads, but in love, unity, and forgiveness.